So if you want to attract lead roles, if you want to attract agents and casting directors, and eventually book lead roles in TV, film, theater, video games, voiceover, the skill of mastering a monologue is the master skill. You don't need to master a monologue if you just want to be a one-liner. You want to be the concierge at a hotel, or the hot dog vendor, or the taxi driver who's just in and out. You get a day there, you get a day here on set, quick little scene. Even it might be a cool scene, fun with the lead. But if you want to be the lead yourself, casting directors need to, and producers and directors need to know that you have the ability and the range to carry that whole show. Welcome to another episode of Inside the Audition, the podcast that helps actors master the art and science of auditions so that you can stand out for all the right reasons and book your next lead role. I'm your host, Joey Freddy Larson. Connect with me on Instagram at Joey Freddy Larson. Shoot me a DM, say hello. In every episode, we dive deep into audition advice, tips, strategies, industry insights, and inspiring stories from top actors, directors, producers, casting directors, and industry pros. So whether you are an emerging actor or you're a longtime seasoned professional, Inside the Audition is your backstage pass to audition success. And remember that Inside the Audition is sponsored by the Monologue of the Month Club. That is your ultimate resource for actors who want to master and showcase monologues so that you can stand out in every audition and book your next lead role in TV, film, theater, commercials, voiceover. We've got professional coaching and training, weekly monologue jams, monthly workshops, and an international community of growth-minded actors. The Monologue of the Month Club has got you covered. So you can head on over to actorsauditionclub.com. Grab a bunch of our free audition and monologue training there. We've got all kinds of resources to help you get more information, and you can also learn how you can join the club today. So on today's episode, we just passed Love Day, Valentine's Day on February 14th. So I want to tell you one of my favorite Valentine's Day stories, and it has nothing to do with a relationship. It's got a lot to do with acting. So I'm going to take you back. It was February 14th, 2020. And I found myself, picture yourself there. I was on the largest film set that I'd ever been on, surrounded by 500 or 600 crew, all kinds of background extras. The set was this big post-apocalyptic city. And I found myself face to face and toe to frozen toe with none other than Jason Momoa. That's right. I had booked a day on his show C. I think it was season 2 of C, and it was a beautiful sunny day, but it was minus 20. It was freezing fucking cold, so much so that my toes were frozen. Normally on any other set, I would have said something and been like, I got to take a break. My toes need to warm up. But there's no way I was going to be standing next to Jason Momoa and look him in the eye and say, I need to go inside and warm up my toesies. It was a beautiful, breathtaking day. It was one of those pinch me moments where you're just like, I can't believe I get to do this. I can't believe I'm having my dreams come true. The largest set that I've ever been on, I think it's an Apple Plus show. I believe something crazy like $10 million an episode. I'd never been on a show that large. Like I said, 400, 500, 600 extras, tons of crew, giant crane shots, all kinds of incredible things. And I had the opportunity that day to watch a lead actor, an A-list actor, and how he carried himself, how he held himself on that set. I think Jason is also an executive producer on that show. So it really was his set and his show, just his presence, his charisma. In between takes, he was going back and talking to the director, going back to Video Village to talk about the shot and talk about any adjustments. And I just got to watch someone at the top of their game, an A-lister who has this show built around him. And at the end of that day, I was just a day player. I knew I was just a day player that day. So it was my just one and done. Just I'm there for that day. So I wanted to bask in it. I wanted to soak it all in. And I made a vow that day with myself that I would make it my goal to do everything in my power to become a leading actor like Jason so that I can have projects built around me and be a lead actor or supporting lead, ensemble lead, rather than just a day player. There's that old saying, There's the old saying, there's no such thing as a small role, only small actors. And I understand why they say that. No matter what the role is, you still want to bring your best to it. But there are such things as small roles. I had one of them. It was a day player. I was there one day and then I was gone. But there's large roles. They get a larger paycheck, more days on set. They get usually a larger trailer, certainly more money, more accolades, and bigger opportunities. So, yeah, there is small roles and there are large roles. And chances are you didn't dream as a child of being the day player or just the functionary actor. You had dreams of being the lead or being on stage and having that big monologue moment. So I really vowed to myself that day. I was like, oh man, that's the spot I want to be in. I want to be the leading guy that they're creating projects around, walking onto my set, knowing that I'm carrying this show on my shoulders, and that's where I wanted to be. So, cut to about 3 weeks later, the entire world shut down. Remember COVID? We all had it happen to us if you're in the industry. So I went from the most inspired, the most incredible day of my life. It was just unbelievable. I was on fire after that day, so motivated, to being like the most scared and the most afraid and the most depressed that I'd ever been. The world shut down, TV film shut down, stand-up comedy shut down, theater shut down. We all have those stories. Everybody had shows, everybody lost opportunities. And for 4 months, it was a scary, scary time where none of us knew what the heck was going on in the world. I went from being the most excited I ever was in my acting career to wondering if I was ever going to be on a set again, which sucked. Luckily, about 4 months later, TV and film started to slowly open up. And for those of you who know, I'd been running a self-tape studio, Actors Audition Club, since 2017. We were doing self-tapes long before self-tapes were the norm. I like to say we were doing self-tapes before they were cool. But after 2020, the whole world shifted to the self-tape model. We don't really have a lot of in-person auditions anymore. And I really started obsessing after that day, standing toe to toe with Jason Momoa and vowing to myself that I would become a leading actor myself one day. I really started obsessing with what is it that separates functionary actors and day player actors from lead and ensemble lead. What is the master skill? What is the big difference? And I'm really fortunate at Actors Audition Club since 2017. I've had the opportunity to work with hundreds of actors, shooting, I think, over 5,000 auditions, and I've helped actors book dream roles in TV, film, theater, video games, voiceover. So I have a backstage or an inside look at what's working and what's not working for a lot of actors. And I've come to the conclusion after working with so many actors and seeing them book lead roles and seeing the difference between day player one-liners and actors who are being considered for lead roles. And the major difference is that lead actors have the ability to master and deliver large monologues and carry scenes and carry shows all on their own backs. Of course, you need to be able to interact and have chemistry with the other actors, but every lead actor has the ability to master and deliver a compelling monologue. And think about your favorite actors right now. Doesn't matter who it is in TV and film, you can think of something that gripped you, and usually it's a monologue. It might be 30 seconds, a minute. It could be if it was a theater show, you're watching an actor on Broadway. It was probably when they stepped into the spotlight and delivered and just crushed that monologue. And the reverse of that is name an A-list actor, a leading actor that doesn't have the ability to crush a compelling monologue. You can't think of anyone. There's no such thing as a leading actor who can't crush a monologue. And I believe really that that is the difference. That mastering and then being able to showcase that mastery in a compelling monologue is the most effective way to book lead roles and to be considered for lead roles. So if you want to attract lead roles, if you want to attract agents and casting directors and eventually book lead roles in TV, film, theater, video games, voiceover, The skill of mastering a monologue is the master skill. You don't need to master a monologue if you just want to be a one-liner. You want to be the concierge at a hotel, or the hot dog vendor, or the taxi driver who's just in and out. You get a day there, you get a day here on set, quick little scene. Even it might be a cool scene, fun with the lead. But if you want to be the lead yourself, casting directors need to, and producers and directors need to know that you have the ability to, and the range to carry that whole show. So that's what this episode is all about. I want to talk about that a little bit today. Now, some of you, maybe you're listening right now and you're like, no, 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 no. I don't think monologues are the key to this. So you might be thinking that they're old school. That monologues. Who does monologues? That's only for theater. I don't even ever get asked to bring a monologue to a TV or film audition. Sure, maybe that's true. They don't specifically ask for a monologue, but a monologue, when you have the opportunity, it is the opportunity to show that you can hold the room, that you can command attention, that you can command that camera and hold frame and hold the audience's eyes and just have them leaning in on the edge of their seats, much more than just a single line or a few lines back and forth. And it's lead roles that demand that skill, and monologues are still the best way to showcase that you have that. Some of you might be thinking, oh, no, it's not about monologues. It's you need the right agent, you need the connections. Sure, those connections matter, but even if you have the best connection in the world, at some point you're going to need to demonstrate that you have the skill and the craft as an actor to crush a killer monologue, or you're not going to get the chance to showcase your true potential. So, yeah, you might have the best agent, you might have the best connection. Your uncle is Martin Scorsese, but sooner or later, if you don't have that skill, you that might get your foot in the door, but then you're going to be shown as, okay, this we wanted to give this guy a chance, but he just doesn't have the chops. Some of you might be thinking that it's only for theater. No, it's not just about theater monologues. Whether it's TV, film, commercials, again, mastering those monologues is the way for you to show off your range. It's the way for you to stand out no matter the medium. And so some of you also might be thinking like, oh no, it's I don't need to learn monologues. I need to learn branding, or I need better headshots, or I just need a demo reel. Okay, well let's talk about all those. Yeah, sure you need branding, but again, if you're using your branding to present yourself to casting directors, sooner or later the casting director is going to give you an opportunity. And if there's a monologue in that audition that you can't master and crush it stronger than all the other actors that are auditioning, well, you're not going to get the gig. And same thing, you could have the greatest headshots in the world. They stand out, and the casting director sees them, clicks on you, say, "Yeah, love the look of this person." Well, when you get in the room, or when you get in to record your self tape, if you don't have the craft to crush that monologue, they're not going to call you back again. Again, it doesn't matter how beautiful your headshot is. So, yes, branding is important. Yes, headshots are important. And even demo reels. Demo reels are great, but what are you showing in that demo reel? You want a great demo reel? Well, that demo reel ideally needs to have a masterful monologue that shows you can hold camera, that you can carry a scene, that you can carry a show. Sure, if your goal is to remain a day player, and I'm not shaming that, it's a part of your journey as an actor. I've booked lots of one-liners. My first big Hollywood role was reporter number two, but I never had dreams of being like, I've made it. Now that I'm reporter number two, actually, I think I was reporter number one, but one or two is the same thing. No, I don't want to be reporter number one. That movie, Ethan Hawke, Mark Strong, and Numi Rapace were the leads. It was a movie called Stockholm. And yeah, I was thrilled. That was another day where it was my first speaking role in a Hollywood feature. But my goal at the end of that day wasn't like, oh yeah, I just want to keep, maybe next time I can be reporter number one instead of reporter number two. No, it was, I want to watch and learn from these lead actors and do the things that they're able to do so that I can be cast in a lead role. So hopefully you're starting to get it here. I want to just go a little deeper, because this episode, I really want to just convey the importance of mastering a monologue. I think a lot of people and a lot of actors, you still think that monologues are old and for theater, or again, in theater auditions, it used to be it still is common where people will say, bring in two contrasting monologues, bring in a classical monologue, a Shakespeare, Chekhov, and bring in something contemporary. And we don't get to do that as much in TV and film. In TV and film, it's usually here are the sides. However, mastering a monologue I think it's the master skill. Musicians, give you a little metaphor here, an example. Musicians have scales. Any master professional musician, they practice their scales every day. Now, are they going to perform scales when they're performing on stage at a giant concert? No, they're not performing scales when the day comes. However, it's what keeps them sharp. They're able to rehearse and practice monologues. And same thing with actors. Part of the brilliant thing about monologues is you can do them by yourself. Now, sure, a lot of the fun in acting is the back and forth and the scene work, but to sharpen the saw and to sharpen your craft, you always have monologues that you can fall back on. So part of the skill as an actor is selecting these killer monologues that demonstrate and showcase your unique skills so that you can show that to agents and casting directors and prove to them that, hey, give me the opportunity to step up and be a leading player. So I want to just share a few more stats here with you about monologues here that we got here. One second. Oh, here we go. So a little bit more on monologues. If you're not sold on this, again, this entire episode is just the importance of monologues to you. I don't want you to leave this episode. Stick around to the end. I've got a couple surprises for you, but don't shut this episode off until you are convinced that learning and mastering monologues is the key skill if you want to be a leading player. If you don't want to be a leading player, if you're happy with being a day player, you want to book a day here, book a day there, then that's great too. And again, I'm not shaming that. It's just that's not my personal goal. And deep down, I actually don't believe you. If you say, no, I just want a line here, a line there, I don't actually believe you. I think if you could rub a genie lamp and make a wish, your wish wouldn't be to have a line on a show. It would be to be the leading player in a show. And maybe when you say, no, no, this is my goal. Well, I want to push back and just challenge you. I think you're selling yourself short. And I think you can raise your goals and raise your standards. And you can always have those one-liners. You can always have the day roles. I've done a bunch of them, but I've also had the good fortune of booking lead roles. I was lead in a feature called We Came to Wreck Everything. I was lead in a couple of episodes of TV shows, Fear Thy Neighbor and Tales from the Void. And yeah, it feels incredible to be number one on the call list, to be there in every scene, to be that close with the director and all the cast and crew. And quite frankly, I want that responsibility. I want to be known as the guy that's carrying the show and carrying the scenes that people can look to deliver a performance that can help sell the show and really leave that indelible impression on the viewer. So a little more on monologues. It's such a crucial tool. Like casting directors, they're consistently looking for actors who can communicate their unique voice, the depth of character, and really it's a powerful monologue that can let an actor demonstrate the versatility, emotional range, also to be able to chunk through and work through that much text and make sense of it. Like if you have a giant monologue, well, in order to work through it, you got to be a master at text analysis and a master at storytelling. So it's just so important. Those are qualities that casting directors are looking for. They're looking for new actors who can stand out with this range. Monologues are so pivotal in the audition process. There was a study conducted by Backstage, and 71% of casting directors agreed that a strong, well-prepared monologue can make or break an actor's chances of getting the callback. So, meaning if there is a monologue in your sides, and you don't crush that, that's it. You can't be the person for that role because they need someone to carry that full scene or that full story. And casting directors encounter hundreds of auditions, and it's really the actor who delivers that captivating monologue they're the one that's likely to be remembered, and that's what makes it a non-negotiable skill for career goal, for career growth. There was a 2019 study survey by Actors Studio found that actors who's trained specifically in monologue performance saw an increase in up to 30% in audition callback rates. 30%. So one out of every three getting a callback. And the study confirmed that actors who consistently practice and polish monologues, they're able to more effectively demonstrate their range, and that improves their chances of being called back. And there was also a study in 2018 by the Drama Review, and that revealed that actors who performed a well-rehearsed monologue were 2.5 times more likely to get a lead role in their first year out of drama school than those who didn't prioritize monologue practice. We can give you another one here. Audience engagement. The audience connects to people who deliver monologues. Again, think of all your favorite actors. You can probably associate one monologue that you watched and blew your fucking mind, whether it was in a TV show or in a movie or on stage. The National Endowment for the Arts conducted a study on audience reception to monologue-based performances, and they found that monologues were 50% more likely to engage audiences compared to ensemble-based performances. And part of that is the emotional resonance and just the focus on a single performer. It creates a stronger connection with the audience, making that actor's performance unforgettable. And it's that kind of deep engagement that can translate into opportunities for further auditions, more job offers, greater visibility in the industry, because you really connect with an audience, and you gain raving fans, not just from your agent and casting directors, producers and directors, but actual raving fans in the audience. And again, think about your A-list actors. Like, think about Viola Davis and Denzel Washington. Both of them, they credit their career breakthroughs to a well-executed monologue. Denzel talks about his performance of a monologue in, I think it was the Great White Hope. He's got monologues in Training Day. I mean, all of his movies. Think about, there's these killer monologues where he just fucking crushes it. And it's those things that help them land more roles and more roles, and often win the Oscars every year, whether it's Emmys or Oscars. You can connect those winners. They may not have even been in the movie that long. They might have only had 5, 10, 15 minutes of screen time in a 2-hour movie, but they were so impactful with a strong monologue that it led to bigger and bigger roles for them. Viola Davis talks about a role that she had in, I think it was King Hedley II. I think she earned a Tony Award, but also got all kinds of eyes on her from casting agents who were looking at Broadway actors for lead roles. So they're not on there looking for the ensemble player or the chorus player. We'll be like, who can we pluck out of obscurity here? They need to see that somebody can deliver the goods. And those are instances in just how mastering a monologue can be the difference maker. Also, you think about monologue competitions. There's the Monologue Slam, as an example, as a very well-known monologue competition that's launched the careers of countless actors, because it's an opportunity for actors to shine and showcase. There's often agents and casting directors in those audience. There was a 2015 study from the SAG-AFTRA Foundation revealed that 60% of actors who participated in monologue competitions within the first 3 years of their career ended up getting calls from agents and casting directors immediately afterwards. Again, solidifying the importance of this skill in real-world casting processes. So again, part of it is first impressions. Such a fast-paced industry. First impressions are everything. And Casting Networks has reported that casting directors sometimes spend only a minute or two watching every self-tape, and it can be a standout monologue that captures their attention within just the first few seconds. And a monologue that's performed with authenticity, with confidence, with depth, will grab a casting director's attention quickly, and it gives that actor a major edge over others in the audition pool, whether it's for that role or a future role. Also, being able to master different types of monologues is your key to showing your versatility and your range, showing that you can adapt to varying roles, various emotional states. There was a study by the Talent Manager said that 63% of casting directors said that actors who are versatile in their monologue choices are more likely to be cast in lead roles. Why? Because they demonstrate the flexibility required for major film and theater productions. And again, I could go on and on and on and on and on and on. And I already have, but I'm going to give you a little bit more. There's the personal connection. A lot of actors, particularly those who are just starting, you started your journey by choosing monologues that have personal meaning to you. So when you choose, like when you have a well-chosen monologue that is well chosen for you, really what I mean by that is something that you love and really resonate with, and those words you just love rehearsing them, you really connect to them. Whether it's a comedic monologue from a childhood film or a dramatic one that you connect to some kind of personal loss, a lot of the times those monologue choices really ground you in your own lived experience, and it's a personal connection that you have to your monologue material that can create a real deep emotional performance, and that makes it so much more relatable to audiences and casting directors. Also, just the storytelling power of it. Monologues essentially are one person stories. It's a solo storytelling session. Actor studio director Lee Strasberg famously said, "The monologue is where the actor truly unveils their soul." And it's with a monologue that you can convey not just words, but an interpretation of a character's world. And the storytelling element allows actors to display the range, your depth, your originality, and again, all qualities that casting directors are looking for when they're looking to cast their next lead actor. So hopefully this is making sense to you. So I just want to challenge you with, if your goal is one day to be a leading actor or supporting lead, ensemble lead, how do you ever expect to be a lead actor if you don't have the ability to master and then showcase a compelling and captivating monologue? I don't think it can happen. You can have the best demo reel in the world, but if it's a line here and a line there and a line here and a line there, and you don't have the ability either in person on stage or on film to crush a 30-second, 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, 5 minute monologue, to hold camera, to captivate audiences and carry a show, you don't have the skill and craft to be a leading actor. It doesn't matter how beautiful you are, it doesn't matter how amazing your headshot or your demo reel is, doesn't matter how many branding classes you've taken, doesn't matter how many networking events you've gone to and who you know, and you have all these incredible relationships. The master skill and the master craft is being able to crush a compelling monologue. And the good news is, here at the Monologue of the Month Club, we can help you do that. We'll show you how to select a made for you monologue, one that showcases your unique talents and your unique skills so that you can showcase your range and your skills to casting directors or to agents if you're still looking to an agent. We're going to show you how to prepare those. So, how to master your storytelling, how to master your text analysis to bring that to life. We're also going to talk, and we train you inside the Monologue of the Month Club on how to prepare and rehearse most effectively, and then ultimately how to perform that monologue and how to showcase yourself to agents, casting directors, directors, producers, and nowadays audiences. Think about it. What we do every month inside the Monologue of the Month Club is, every month we have a prompt that we give you. It might be, this month might be a classical monologue, Shakespeare, Chekhov. Next month would be film and TV monologues, or would be a comedic monologue. Or next month we're going to do a monologue on that showcases a dialect or an accent. Or we have a month planned where we're going to do more physical, where you have to show off some of your physical, your ability to be physical, maybe more for theater or for a monologue where it's a real physical role. So imagine at the end of a year having all of those recorded monologues that you've mastered. Maybe you got a half a dozen, or if you did a monologue every month, at the end of the year, you have 12 compelling monologues that you can showcase to agents, casting directors, producers, directors, or these days on social media. A well-recorded monologue, you share that on Instagram, on TikTok, it gets a little virality. You showcase a character that maybe people don't know you as. We've all got, you start off really playing the type that you present as. That's probably what you're going to be cast as. But all of us want to have a wide range. So one of the best ways to show casting directors and agents that you have that range, rather than have them imagine it, just rehearse and record a masterful audition and then show them. Throw it on Instagram, throw it on Facebook, throw it on TikTok, throw it on your social media, throw it on your website, even put it on the casting director sites. If there's a role that you want to be considered for and you've never been considered for that type, well, if you have proof that you can carry that type of role and be a leading player in that genre, well, you're going to be ahead of the game. So imagine having that ability. So fast forward 6 months from now, and you've recorded 6 masterful auditions in different genres. You got a classical Shakespeare, Chekhov. You got a comedic like sitcom for from TV film type monologue. You got a real physical one. You got a couple with some dialects and some accents. And then you can showcase those to your agents and to casting directors and directors. How far ahead are you going to be? And I know that a lot of us, a lot of listeners, we all face the dilemma at some point in our career where we want these bigger roles, but we don't have the demo reel, or we need the credit to get the opportunity. But it's that chicken and the egg thing, kind of like a job interview where they're like, well, I'd love to give you a job, but I need to see your experience. But you need to get the experience to get the job. And so you're stuck with this chicken and egg scenario, but you can take control of that. So you can go to actorsauditionclub.com. You can grab some of our free training. Actually, if you go to actorsauditionclub.com/challenge, you can take our monologue challenge, and that'll take you through 5 days of training. With the end goal of that 5 days, you'll have rehearsed and recorded your first monologue. If you go to actorsauditionclub.com, you can also learn about how to join the Monologue of the Month Club. Every week, we have what we call Monologue Jams, where it's your opportunity to perform in front of a live audience, virtual audience on Zoom. But it's also a workshop where you'll get a professional coach. We'll work with you. We'll go word by word and line by line to enhance your monologue, help you find beats and moments that maybe you didn't find, so that you can master that and eventually record those auditions and be able to showcase those. We've got a whole vault of online training. We have a private community where you can collaborate and meet and work with other like-minded actors and work with them, share tips and resources. So all kinds of ways that we can help you. Again, I'll say it again. The ability to master and showcase a captivating monologue is the key to standing out in every audition and eventually booking lead roles. There are no lead actors in existence in the world. If you can think of one, tell me. But I don't think there's any leading actors in TV, film, theater, video games, voiceover. There's no leading actors that don't have the ability to master and showcase a captivating monologue. It just does not exist. So if you want to get there, if you want to grow from background to day player to recurring to leads and ensemble leads, which I think all of you should, it's a skill, it's a learned skill, it's a craft. Again, maybe you just want to be a day player. I think you're selling yourself short. And I think ultimately, if you think back to when you were a kid or whenever you first caught this acting bug, the dream was to be one of the people on screen or on stage that you saw that was a lead actor. You didn't see the person in the background and be like, oh yeah, that guy standing in the back being the tree. Back to your elementary school play days. It's like, yeah, some kid got cast as the tree or the bush in that play, but that's not the role that you want to define you in your career. So in the spirit of growing towards leading actors, go to actorsauditionclub.com. You can grab some of our free training. Specifically, if you go to actorsauditionclub.com/challenge, you can get started with that monologue challenge. You can learn how to join the Monologue of the Month Club. We would love to have you at our weekly monologue jams. Again, every month there's a prompt where this month is classical month. So we're going to be working on Shakespeare, or we're going to be working on Chekhov. Next month, we're going to be doing comedic monologues from TV and film, like a sitcom type monologue. And then the next month after that, we're going to do a physical monologue. The next month after that, we're going to do an accent, or we're going to do a dialect, so that 3 months from now, 6 months from now, certainly a year from now, whether you're getting calls from agents or casting directors or not, you're going to have the ability to every week have the control to be working and mastering your own monologues. We would love to help you with that. Again, as always, hit me up on Instagram at Joey Freddie Larson. I would love to hear from you if you have questions about monologues or about auditions. And if you want to be a guest on Inside the Audition, if you're making big, bold moves in the TV, film, theater industry, and you've got stories that you want to share, then I would love to hear your story. You can go to actorsauditionclub.com/guest, and you can fill out our guest application form. I would love to chat with you. Again, if you're an actor, or maybe you're a director, producer, casting director, TV, film, and theater industry pro, we would love to share your story so that we can share it with actors. And again, remember, we're not looking for fluff. We're not looking for just airy-fairy motivation stuff that you'd hear on every Instagram channel or every other podcast. We want to get down and dirty. We want to hear the real behind-the-scenes nitty-gritty of your successes, but also your failures. Maybe you had points in your career where you got the shit kicked out of you and you learned some tough lessons. We want to hear those too. So to be a guest, go to actorsauditionclub.com/guest and fill out the little application there, and we can showcase you on a future episode of actorsauditionclub.com. So thank you so much. Keep working at it. Remember, a rising tide lifts all boats. And remember that you too can aspire to be the leading player in a television series, in a theater show, in a movie, but more importantly, be the lead actor in your own life. All right, I'm Joey Freddie Larson. We'll see you next time on Inside the Audition.